telling Franklin I need receipts, and this is what he gave me.
Give me links. Don't tell him receipts. He probably don't know what you mean.
He knows me so well. If he gives me links, he's going to give me sausages. Because, I like a good sausage link, especially in the morning.
He's not going to give you, how's he going to give you these little emoji sausages?
Little picture of a sausage. Like, thanks, Franklin. Welcome back. I'm Dan.
And I'm Can.
And this is the Dan and Can podcast. How are we all doing now?
Fine.
See, that's the sound of a woman that's
I was talking trying to do a different voice, like somebody else is answering you.
Bringing up more topics. You are just a content machine when it comes to podcast topics.
Yep.
You and your relation with your family. Because again, we're going to be getting into that today. Another fun-filled week.
Hey, wait, before you go on, have you ever noticed, I've always thought all the clocks match each other, right? And my iPad and my iPhone match, but my PC does not match. It's a minute ahead.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Well, your iPhone and your
Don't answer
Mac
if you do not know the answer. Do not come out of an answer.
Synced because they're Apple products.
So, but why aren't they synced?
And your PC is through Windows, and they could be a little bit off.
Why don't those two sync to the same thing?
They're different companies, different software.
So, what's the actual time?
Yes. Time is a construct.
I know it's a construct, but somebody has an actual time that everybody's supposed to go by, right?
Big Ben.
In Greenwich. Is it Big Ben?
I don't know.
I don't think so. Big Ben is analog. So if the battery ran out or something.
There's a guy climbing up with a little.
How is it run? It's run on something.
One of them little disc CC batteries.
What runs it?
Oh, dear Lord, we got to get up to the tower.
Is there somebody that cranks it? What is it? I don't know.
Yeah, it's mechanical.
Yeah, so what's running it? So what energy is could it run out?
There's probably some sort of electricity or steam or something that's in there.
Yeah, so what if it runs out?
Or a 9-volt.
Just one 9-volt. Little baby 9-volt.
Just blinks. That was an old Simpsons. In the future, Big Ben was digital. And, it was just blinking one day.
Yeah, exactly.
So
therefore, I don't think it's Big Ben.
Did you know, I heard this today on the news, our days are shorter.
Yeah, we've passed June 21st.
No, not. We've actually we're rotating faster.
What?
So we've lost 1 millisecond of time due to the rotation.
We're speeding up in our rotation or our revolution. The revolution is around the sun.
Rotation.
No. If we've lost...
Rotation is a day.
Yeah. So that would mean we're spinning slower if we've lost time, right?
Well, no, or it's sped up. One or the other. We lost time.
We lost time. So we're speeding up.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're speeding up in our rotation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Astronomy talk with Dan and Can.
Is that due to climate change or what?
Who knows? You'd have to get in astrophysics, and I'm not about to jump into that arena right now.
No, but that's interesting.
So, yes.
Wow.
Well, welcome back, folks. Again, we'll get into a topic here in a little bit, but before we do that, how about you get to know the old Dan and Can a little bit better? So let's do a little get to know you segment.
Okay.
You ready?
Mm-hmm.
What is the most bonkers thing someone ever said to you in the name of God? Bonkers, crazy, silly, just cringe, whatever. The one that popped up real quick in my head was, we've been called on a mission to Hawaii to serve the heathen population of Hawaii. God really
I
blessed
wish
that
we
family.
would have gotten that calling.
Do you?
That would have been living in Hawaii over living in the Midwest.
You wouldn't have this glorious humidity from corn sweat.
Living in Hawaii, I mean, of course, I'm fantasizing in my head, like so, but I'm sure it's beautiful.
It's a lot of murders. I mean, you watched
Hawaii,
the White Lotus.
White Lotus. I mean, they had a Hawaii one. Yeah,
the first one. So, can you think of anything in the name of God? I got another one.
Go ahead.
The world is going to end in 2012, 2013, 2020. God revealed this to us. Save up your water. Store it because you're not saved. You'll be here still.
Oh, God. And they're still preaching that. Water. Yeah. I mean, how many times has that been said? Millions. In my lifetime, a lot of times.
Yes.
So when you were a kid, you probably didn't hear that too much.
No, I wasn't in the same circles you were.
No. We were thinking it. We would have times where we would sit around as a family and imagine what it would be like to lift up each thing.
Okay, that was one of the most cringe things I ever heard in the name of God.
And I would wonder, is my head going to hit the ceiling, or do you just kind of, or do you just go through and you can see the floors, and then what happens to your clothes?
There was a fake thing made. It was rapture ready houses, so it had hinges on the roof.
So you didn't.
So you'd flop it open and go through.
Some people would fall for it. Or you'd think pilots flying planes. What happens if they're a Christian and their plane crashes, all the people on there? That's really cruel. Or car accidents. Yeah. We have family who used to have the thing around their license plate that said, in the case of rapture, this car will be unmanned. And I was just like, that's so cruel. Really, you're basically saying I'm going to slam into somebody. I'm going to cause a really bad accident. If there's a rapture, you might die if you're around me.
Yeah.
I would say just that in general, the rapture idea is one of the craziest, most cruel, that and hell.
Yeah.
Things that have been said in the name of God.
There's had to be other things in
my own life.
Deep-seated evangelical life where someone said, God told me.
Oh, yeah. Well, you're putting me on the spot, so I don't really... I mean, there's definitely been times, I haven't had this happen, but I have had, I know people who have had a guy come up to him and say, God told me that you're supposed to be my wife, or that we're going to date. I'm supposed to ask you out.
The videos where the guy goes up in front of the youth group. God laid it on my heart that my wife is in this room tonight.
Oh, yeah.
So if you're feeling that too, come on up. Let's meet each other.
Oh my gosh, can you imagine some poor person just sitting there hearing that, and then she feels like this, maybe she has a crush. Maybe she even had a crush on him. And it's now she stands up and he's basically said, we're going to get married.
Yeah.
The pressure, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll meet today. We'll get married next month.
Ugh, yeah.
We'll have a kid under a year.
I mean... The Duggars kind of do that too. Yeah. They didn't, and we knew people too that didn't. There wasn't really dating. It was basically you're with this person. And kind of I dated that way, but in a way I didn't. There were some guys that I either did go on a date with or would have gone on a date with that I wasn't thinking about marriage. I was, but always maybe in the back of my mind it was is this the one or not? And really with you, it just got to the point where do I want to? Can I imagine? If I imagine him with somebody else, does that bother me? Does it bother me to not have him at all?
Oh, the jealousy monster coming out.
Yeah, kind of probably. And then I trapped myself for life.
Yeah, for some reason you're I don't want anyone with that guy.
That guy shouldn't have anybody. Does that mean I have to have him? I mean, nobody should have him, but I guess I'll just have him so nobody else will have him.
No one else. No one else. Fine.
Bueller.
I'll take the bullet.
I'll take him off the hands of everybody, okay?
So, you can't think of anything?
You put me on the spot. I would have to have time to think about it, Dan.
Well, that's such a... this game.
I know. Just because the object of the game is that doesn't mean I have to participate.
How about God told me to leave my family and start a ministry?
Okay, yes. Now you're just getting ridiculous. Okay, yes, I know of these things. Stop. I don't really.
Or I'm a prophet.
Why? Stop it, please. Yes, these are things that have been. These are things that have happened. Okay, can we move along? Why are you trying to?
I want one from your past. You got some gold.
I don't know, Dan.
You don't know Dan. Hi, I'm Dan. Nice to meet you.
I don't know.
None of your preachers or teachers or anyone got up and was like, this has been laid on my heart.
I'm sure there were. We had people come to our churches that were like, considered them, people called them prophets.
Oh, yeah.
I remember this one guy, he was named.
Was that with a PH or an F? You see the
prophet,
PH. You see the gears turning right there.
Took a minute. I was like, Ben. The clock. Battery's wearing low. I'm just thinking of, there was one preacher, he came. I remember there was one guy and he was called a prophet. His name was Willie. He was very young. He was probably
Prophet
20.
Willie?
Yeah. He was like in his 20s, maybe.
That sounds like it should be in part of our game segments.
He was prophesying. I can't remember some of the things that were said. I did have some prophecies that were said over me. There was one that I was going to save a friend's life. And that's all it was said.
Still waiting for that one.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know where or when that would have happened.
There's been a few opportunities when people aren't around anymore. You're like, nope, not going to say. I don't want to say that.
Sorry, that's not the one. I'll tell you
I'm not wasting my prophecy on that
one.
Lame.
It was also prophesied in a different time that I was going to be a soldier for God. And do you know how they said that? Okay, so they're doing this. They were going around. These were at churches where they were okay with women being in positions of, not preacher. The woman was never a preacher, but they could be mighty people for God or whatever. And I was standing kind of with my legs about hip width apart, and I had my hands kind of like folded in front of my lap, or like kind of like this, locked,
Yeah.
So it looked kind of like, I don't know, soldier-ish, but I really did not want them to, like, that's when they would try to push people back, to fall. And that's why I was standing there kind of like that, just to kind of be really balanced, because I'm like, it ain't happening this time.
Digging in.
Because I told you, I think I've talked about on the podcast, where they pushed me over one time. Okay, so I'm like, that's not happening. And so they were like, they started prophesying and they were pushing, and I was not going down. And they were like, she's going to be a mighty warrior for God. And yeah. And like feet of...
They were a mighty warrior, but not for the right side.
No, not exactly what they want at all. So I'm like, did the prophecy come true? Just not how it was so funny. But yeah, so that's, I guess those things. That's all I can think of. I mean, I can't think. But yes, there was always weird things of people saying God told them, or God told me to tell you. I do recall sometimes people doing that. I can't recall for sure if it was ever said to me. But even just thinking of those times when someone would come up and say, God told me to tell you, it's usually not, in my experience, it hasn't been like to tell you something encouraging. It's kind of like to convict you of your sin that they think is sin.
Interesting point.
Yeah.
Well, this little question kind of leads us into the topic du jour that we're dealing with in our lives now.
Okay.
Revelations from God to people. When you're trying to debate something with them, talk to them, reason with them, using reason and logic with individuals, and they always fire back with, but this was a revelation from God. God told me so.
But it's God.
God laid this on my heart.
Mm-hmm.
You can't argue with that mindset, because they've put themselves in this place of the divine. Mm-hmm. The Holy of Holies has told me this. I've heard this voice, whatever it may be in their head that they've heard. They've assigned it to this God, this deity, this supreme being, and now nothing can change that.
Well, I will say one more that might connect to that game that applies here is when we've been with pastors who say they were the next pastor in line. Yeah. God told them.
Oh, yeah.
And we're just supposed to go, okay, I guess that's true. You know what I'm saying? So they just become the next preacher, and
Oh, yeah.
And it was because God
honestly,
appointed them, but it's like,
that's any preacher.
I know. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Why
And
are you a
instead of
preacher?
saying like
Well, God
the
laid it on my
preacher
heart.
over me or the one that's going out or leaving or whatever, he appointed me. I could be like, okay, and then we can make a decision. But when you say God appointed me, I've been chosen by God to be there, or this person has now been chosen by God to be the next pastor here. Okay. Chosen by God or chosen by men? Because it's always by men.
Yeah.
That's always what it is. And I don't mean like male men. I just mean people.
Yeah.
Always men. It's people doing it. They're not, and they're saying it's God. And you can't argue with it. But it might be good to push back against it if there's an audience of other people, because other people might think, but the person you're talking to will probably not crack if they've thought that if they genuinely believe God told them. Now, some people are just using that phrase to manipulate.
Yeah, and the control, it's just kind of like we talked in previous episodes where we were talking about prayer and everything else. It's a boxed answer that's just sent out to be dismissive.
To shut you up, yeah.
Because you bring logic and reason to an argument, hey, what you're doing is bad. It's harming all these individuals. Well, God laid it on my heart to do this. So you can't argue with God. We were told, when we were in a discussion, said, hey, there might be some mental health issues going on here.
You mean we said that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we were told, well, they have the mind of Christ, and the mind of Christ can't be mentally ill.
Mm-hmm. And so then it's like, I think I've maybe pushed back there once and just said, so people who have mental illnesses can't have the mind of Christ. And they said, well, no. And then it was just like,
well, there you go with logic and reason again. And it doesn't work in this realm. It's honestly, when you get caught in that loop of arguing this, it's exhaustive.
Because it's not, it's like, this is where I think of the verse in the Bible, throwing your pearls before swine, because I think there's a lot of good things in the Bible, like a lot of good proverbs and stuff. Like you're taking something that's really a good point and you're throwing it before, like if you think of throwing pearls before swine, you take something that's precious and you throw it before pigs that will just trample it in the mud. It's basically like, don't throw out the energy and the words and all of the communication. If you know it's not going to go, don't assume it's not going to go anywhere. But if you know that you're talking to somebody who's very closed-minded and there's nobody around that's maybe a little bit open-minded that might hear the conversation, because it might be worth it if somebody's around that might overhear it, right? Yeah. That might be worth it. Even children sometimes are listening in. Teenagers are kind of listening in.
And that brings up another point too. It's manipulative because people that are God-fearing people hear that, and now they're manipulated to believe, oh, this is a revelation, so I got to respect and honor it. If I don't, am I questioning the authority of God? I can't, because you don't know what's going on in this person's mind, what they've heard, what they've, experienced.
True. And when you're Christian, when you're in that world, that will shut you up.
Yeah.
You will, but it's only recently where I've been kind of pushing back. Well, how can I know that was from God? How did anybody could say that and be a charlatan even and say, well, God told me. And so I can't just go based off of that.
Yeah.
I need some more evidence than just God told you. Right.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people, even in the Christian circles, can understand that. Like someone could trick you. How do you know that this person isn't tricking you? And maybe they'll go, well, we know this person, whatever. But it at least plants the thought like, you shouldn't. And that's the thing. You've created that mindset. So now someone who really doesn't care about Christianity at all, 47, can get into a high power position using the name Christian, using God appointed me. Other people want him in power because they can use him as whatever the way they want, whether he's a puppet or he's in control and just doing the things that he wants to do. I don't know, but that's exactly what that is. That's a charlatan using the language.
Charlatan might be your word of the week.
It might be.
For some other issues you've been dealing with. Yeah. Keyboard warrior.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Hey, I only say things when I feel really like pushed.
When I see bullshit, I call out. Bullshit.
Well, because I know other people are going to read it, and it's just,
Yeah.
Or listen to these posts and they just irritate me.
Anywho. So we'll get into that a little deeper here, but let's do a little break.
Okay, good.
And good. I'm tired of talking about serious stuff.
No, I'm just getting irritated.
Oh, I'm sorry. So let's play a little game.
Okay.
Are you ready for the game?
Mm-hmm.
All right. This week's game is Christian book blurb or satire. ChatGTP made up. So I'm going to read a little segment here, and you have to decide if it's an actual blurb
from a Christian book.
From a Christian book.
I don't trust ChatGPT on these, but okay.
Or was it made up?
Okay.
By Franklin, my ChatGTP. I haven't named him yet.
You don't name them. The voices have names. If you're doing the one that talks to you, it has a name already.
I don't have it.
It's just because that's the name that goes with that voice.
Yeah.
But you can call him whatever you want. Okay.
What's yours?
I don't call him anything. You
have a name for him.
His voice has a name.
What's the name?
Cole.
Candy and Cole. CNC Music Factory.
I did try a woman's voice, but I'm still struggling because I've been trained to take authority from men and men's voices. So I noticed it's like a subconscious thing. And so sometimes I will have a woman's voice and sometimes not because I am trying to reprogram myself to like there's resistance to it. Isn't that weird? Yeah. But it's just a program that's running. It is misogyny. Would that be misogyny in me?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, patriarchy. Yeah, that's what it is.
So, all right, you ready for the first excerpt?
Yep.
A young woman navigates heartbreak, a failed purity pledge, and the end times, all before prom night. You'd think the purity pledge fail would be on prom night, but apparently this is before.
Because of that, I'm going to say ChatGPT.
This is a Christian young apocalypse series, young adult apocalypse series.
What's it called? Do you know?
They didn't give it to me, but
you need to make ChatGPT. Bring the receipts next time, buddy.
I keep telling Franklin I need receipts, and this is what he gave me.
Give me links. Don't tell him receipts. He probably don't know what you mean.
He knows me so well. If he gives me links, he's going to give me sausages. Because, I like a good sausage link, especially in the morning.
How's he going to give you these little emoji sausages?
Little picture of a sausage. Like, thanks, Franklin. She only dated atheists until one took her to church and stole her heart for Jesus.
ChatGPT.
Franklin's all over that one.
Franklin. Sound like an atheist took her to church, but...
Yeah, you caught that part of it.
Yeah, so that didn't sound right, so that's how I...
That's in around right. All right, here we go. You're 1 for 1.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, 1 and 1.
Yeah, 1-1.
When her husband leaves her for a yoga instructor, she finds her true strength through Titus II mentorship and grain-free bacon.
I'm going to go with Franklin made that one up. Did he?
This is Reshaping It All.
This is a real one?
Style Christian self-help memoir.
It's a memoir. I mean, okay. She doubled down. Her husband, of course, he fell for a yoga teacher, like so liberal, yoga.
Yoga, flexible, liberal.
Yeah.
And she finds it through Titus II.
Yeah.
Remember? You were memorizing
I had the whole memorized. I had the whole book memorized. I don't remember it now.
You should have, because that's how a Titus II woman needs to live. And you need to learn how to live that way.
Do I? Okay, I'll look it up while you're talking.
And grain-free bacon.
Grain-free. That was one that kind of tripped me up because I was like, a lot of times, well, no, do they like grain-free? She must have been had a gluten issue or...
Well, yeah, she didn't do enough yoga.
I guess
that's why her husband left her.
That was the part that kind of triggered me or tripped me up because I know in the circles I was in, like, remember when our daughter told my dad that she was vegetarian? Like, he did not like that.
Oh, yeah.
So it was like you didn't basically.
God gave you teeth to eat meat.
Yeah. And so when she says grain free, I guess I kind of, even though that's not the same thing, I don't know, something triggered in my brain there. Like, oh, that can't be real or a book, but for Christians, but whatever.
All right. You're 1 and 2 right now. You're not looking so hot. All right.
Don't be rude.
He was a missionary. She was a stripper. God brought them together in a Taco Bell parking lot.
That is not a Christian book, but maybe it might be a little more interesting, actually. It might be kind of funny.
Your final answer.
I'm going to say it's a Christian blurb.
It's fake.
That would have been one that Dad might go, maybe I'll read it. Maybe I'll give it a little read. Nope.
All right. In a dystopian America where Christians are hunted, one teen finds faith, freedom, and forbidden love.
Okay. That's a Christian blurb.
Yes.
What's it called?
Left Behind.
That's the Left Behind. What?
Left Behind, the kids.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. They had to keep making money on this. People stopped buying the original, so they had to do the kids.
Yeah, Jesus hadn't come back, so they had to keep making their fortune. I wonder how much they made on that whole series. I'm going to type that in, too. And then I'm going to read Titus 2 when we get a chance. Shit. It's real short. I'll just read the main chunks that she was supposed to live by.
Main chunks? I thought that's what you referred to me as. I'm your main chunks.
Here comes my main chunk. No, Dan, stop. What was I looking up? Wait, what was I looking up?
Left Behind the kids. They were unequally yoked, but she believed with enough prayer, even a Catholic could be saved. This is just your memoir.
Say it again.
This is a book written by Candy. They were unequally yoked, but she believed with enough prayer, even a Catholic could be saved.
This is my book that came out. This is how you're finding out it was published. That's true. That's a blurb.
It's fake.
What? Oh, they probably, ChatGPT knows us.
It's playing off your sensibilities.
Maybe you should write this.
All right. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
After surviving a rapture hoax, she discovers the true tribulation is sharing a bunk bed with her youth group crush at church camp.
No.
Fake.
Yeah, because it doesn't make sense. They would never have I'm assuming it would be straight, because then I was like, well, is it someone who's maybe gay?
ChatGPT doesn't see.
No, it doesn't see all those little holes sometimes. It was either that, or it also is not going to pick up on that you would not put male and female together in a church group bunk bed or whatever.
All right. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
When her purity ring is stolen, she's forced to confront what holiness really means and what the thief left behind.
Yes, it's true. I mean, it's a blurb.
Inspired by life after lust. It's adjacent lit.
Okay.
What? So there's power in this ring. Purity ring that clamps down the old leg so nothing can enter. Thou shalt not enter or pass.
Did you remember it? You remember that thing just glaring at you in the eyes?
Gandalf underwear. Thou shalt not pass. That should be a product Christians sell. Gandalf panties. Thou shalt not pass.
It's like this right on the crotch area with his little rod.
Inappropriate. You don't. Why?
It would be kind of funny underwear, actually. I'd probably buy it just because it's funny. You can have it for menopausal women too.
They don't need any AIDS in that area.
Oh, shut up. You act like you're so deprived.
A rugged Christian cowboy must choose between his calling to pastor a megachurch or following his heart to a single mother with a criminal record.
Say it one more time.
A rugged Christian cowboy must choose between his calling to pastor a megachurch or following his heart to a single mother with a criminal record.
That's a blurb.
It is the Cowboys' redemption.
Oh my God. And then Noah said it's a mega church. So he probably becomes a pastor of a small church.
I want to be a millionaire, or do I want a single mother and responsibility?
She's been a criminal.
And
it's a real bad choice I got here. Yeah.
Oh, that sounds like a Hallmark movie that's going to come out.
Yeah, it does. It does. And I'm sure it probably is one.
Together. Last one. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Together, they plan a church battles. Sorry, let me start over. Together, they plan a church, battle sin, and learn to love, all while renovating a Chipotle into a spirit-filled house of worship.
Oh, my God. I hope it's just a Franklin. Did Franklin make it up?
Yes.
Okay.
But his little blurb on that was fake, but someone's already optioning it for PureFlix. Just the Chipotle into a church.
I mean, it probably could happen easily.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Well, yeah, churches are always taking over little mini malls and whatnot. So,
okay, so you want to know that according to NPR, the book series of Left Behind, this is the book series, sold over 80 million copies worldwide, and the 2014 film adaptation grossed $27.4 million against a $16 million budget.
Yeah, that was with...
That's how much it profited, because I was trying to figure... I asked how much it profited.
Old Kirkland Cameron. I think Nicolas Cage got part of the Left Behind movie series, too. When he was trying to pay off debt and just doing like 50 movies a year.
Was he in Left Behind?
I think so.
Not Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, I think so.
No, I think he was in something else. He was in that National Treasure show.
Yeah, but he was in like a ton of movies. Was Nicolas Cage in the Left Behind movie series?
No.
Let's see what Franklin has to say.
You can use Google for that.
I had to switch out. Yes, Nicolas Cage starred in 2014 reboot of the Left Behind movie, which was based on the Christian end times. He played Rayford Steele. Remember that name?
Like vaguely. I don't know.
I don't really remember the show.
The pilot.
Yeah.
We should watch that show again. We should watch it.
Well, we were reading the book. I remember.
I don't know that I've ever seen all
We were on a trip to Colorado and I was listening to the book on tape.
Is that when we missed the turn? Do you know what I'm talking about?
We've missed so many turns.
There was one where you were following your dad and we were listening to a book on audio. And you were kind of like you were in your head because we were being quiet, right? And then you missed the turn and you had to call your dad and you said, I missed the turn. And you were like, I can't have that on. It's just too distracting. I can't listen to that and pay attention to the road. So I was like, oh, okay.
No, this was a trip to Colorado. We never went to Colorado with my parents.
Oh, well, maybe
so on that. But
it would be a good idea to listen to an audiobook when we're
We used to do it, not anymore.
Because I always want to talk.
Yeah, you're like,
we're talking.
I need some interaction right now. All right, let's get into our topic.
Okay.
So we get shut down all the time with God is present in this action. And it's something we're dealing with right now, currently, because we have some real choices to make as a family. Not me, you, and the kids, but extended family of what we're going to do in a situation. And the overarching thing on this is, this is God ordained. So we got to keep supporting it.
There's something that we don't think is.
Yeah.
But we just have a very different opinion, not from everybody, but
the thing is we come from a logical and reasonable, because we were discussing this, me and you, together. And I was like, well, here is an easy solution to this thing. And you're like, yes, but they won't understand this. And the reason they won't understand it is they have the shutdown method of God.
It's God. It's God. It's Jesus.
God.
Yes.
You can't argue anything that's of God. Well, and it's like, there's no... All the burden then is on the person challenging the argument. The other person doesn't have to prove a damn thing.
No. They don't. It's kind of like when people say
yeah.
you believe in God, and they always mean their version of God, which is usually that Christian God that, in my experience, what it's been. And it's like they want you to believe in it, but they don't have to. The burden of proof should be on them to prove it, right?
Yeah.
But it tends to be like, no, I just believe it, and the burden's on you to disprove it. Well, how can you disprove something that you can't even prove?
Even if you use Christian rationalization, because that was part of our discussion in this. I go, well, look at what would happen if we were to look at the fruits of what was being born from this? Nothing good has come of this.
No.
And you're like, no, they'll say that this happened and this happened. I mean, but look at the wave of destruction that's fallen out and people that have separated themselves from this wave and how much they're flourishing once they have and how their dreams and their goals and their aspirations are coming true finally once they separated from this mindset of, well, God's leading me on this path.
Yeah.
And, it's just this ultimate just block that you can't overcome, especially if you don't believe like them anymore.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it is. It's frustrating to talk to.
Yeah.
That type of way of thinking. And the only reason I would have those conversations is because somebody might be, if somebody's around to like hear it, or I think the person, if I get a sense maybe that their mind is a little bit open. But otherwise, it's pointless if the mind is closed.
Mm-hmm.
It is like you think of the words, even when Jesus was saying, like, you're throwing out the seed and it's landing on this rock, it's just bouncing off, or the birds of the air are coming and grabbing it. It's that cracked, open earth that's kind of crumbled, that loosened dirt. And maybe it does a little bit of that. Maybe that throwing that seed at least cracks it maybe a little bit or hits it at least so that there's, so it might have some effect, but you definitely probably won't in that situation. So I'm not saying don't have these conversations with people. Don't push back when they say that. But it is don't argue with it is what I'm saying, because it's not going to go anywhere. And you're going to end up looking probably more like a fool to them than anything.
Yeah.
Because you might even lose your cool, and it's not something you want to lose your cool over.
And it's so tough when something's clear and it's logical and there's evidences pointing to it and you're explaining these evidences and you're showing this truth to really be true, and it's completely lost on them because it's always, well, God. And it's like, fucking let go of that for a second and look what's happening. Look at what's come of this. And in the situation we're dealing with, there has been actual harm done in multiple arenas.
Well, I mean, go ahead.
Yeah. And it's like, we highlight that and say, look what's being done. These are, you're trying to solve the problem with the problem in the situation. And just because God said so. And that doesn't work. And it's so frustrating. It's easy to get worked up and lose your cool because you're like, this is so obvious. This is basic elementary stuff.
Yeah. It seems really like you're able to look at it from a different angle, and I can also see it from their angle because I remember thinking that way, but I'm like, I know that this is just going to block them because it is it's just a wall that's right there and they can't really see around it. But it reminds me of when someone I care about said that they voted for 47 and was starting to realize, he's not a good person, even though they didn't think he was a good person before he started running for president. But apparently, they got swooped into everybody's saying, this is God, this is God's man, right? So then they see, oh yeah, he's not a very good guy. But instead of saying like, I made a bad choice, it's like, well, God put him there. And then when they thought maybe he's the Antichrist, even because they're thinking, this future apocalyptic event is coming. And so they're like, well, maybe he's the Antichrist. Well, I guess it's good because I was voting for what God wanted. God wanted the Antichrist in that position. It's like, okay. And that just created, so some people even maybe knowing to kind of speed up events that they think are future prophecies, like they're trying to make prophecies come to pass, even through the whole thing over in the Middle East. They're trying to force something to come to pass because their God is just so weak he can't just do it without them. Like, why would they should resist any evil.
Yeah.
And then if God wants it to happen, he would just overpower it.
Oh, yeah.
Even with them resisting it.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's so difficult to, especially when you have a reasonable mind. And like you said earlier, you see things from a different angle and especially in your case, when you see things from a mental health issue and how people are affected. I mean, you diagnosed the problem real quickly in our situation and asked the hard questions and forced the truthful answers out of this. And
they were honest. There was an honest answer, but it's convincing others is going to be.
And that answer is not going to be respected because this is of God.
I mean,
so your emotional well-being, your health that we have seen in the past deteriorate greatly when given into this God, what's it going to do again? Because we already started seeing signs of it.
Because it's not giving you, it's not having good fruit.
No, it's actually putting people in the grave.
Yeah. I mean, and that's really how we need to think about things or Christians should think about things, at least. They should just look at the fruit. I mean, didn't Jesus say that? Look at the fruit. You can tell who they are by their fruit. And if the fruit, and it doesn't mean that people are evil and then people are good. It just means the actions they're doing, what they're doing, what's the energy that's following that person is kind of wreaking destruction wherever it goes. So kind of step back from that one, maybe.
And I think some of it is learned behavior because it's extremely manipulative. Because these people understand that Christians are going to believe this. And it may be subconsciously.
Do you think people know that they're doing? I think there may be some. Yeah, it would definitely have to be
there's some that do. I mean, you think of like the Kenneth Copelands, the Joel Osteens.
You think Kenneth Copeland doesn't believe what he's saying?
I have no idea, but I think he knows he's manipulating people and knows how to manipulate people.
So does he think he's a charlatan, I wonder?
God told me I need this private jet. I can't be traveling in first class with people with colds.
He probably convinces himself it's true. Yeah.
So I need a couple $1 million, and he manipulates the crowd into how am I supposed to witness around the world and be able to get there if I can't fly my own jet around?
Yeah.
Otherwise, I got to sit and coach with all these other has-beens and sicks.
He basically made them sound like they were demons. Yeah.
He's manipulating because the people in there are going to be like, well, it is from God. So I guess, all right, open up the checkbook and let's start writing it. Let's get the Venmo out.
Yeah.
And going. And I think for like the people we know and probably the smaller things that go on that are more important in individual lives, I think it's more subconscious to know that this has been effective. It's gotten me results. It's blocked any challenges to what I'm saying, so I'm going to keep using it. So, and we do that with everything in our life. I know if I say certain things or do some certain acts, it's going to affect you in a certain way. So subconsciously, we get in an argument and I shut down. Because then oh no, now this night's done. We're over. And boom, there it is. So these people know that, well, God told me.
Yeah, it's probably a subconscious reaction to get what they want because we're all kind of trying to get what we want in ways, right? We all kind of manipulate whether we know it or not. There's manipulation going on. It's not always malicious. And a lot of times it isn't.
It is malicious, but it's not intentionally malicious because... Well, I wouldn't say always malicious, but in cases that we've seen, it's depleted people of money.
Well,
it's
I'm saying like
people of their
that
health.
is, but I'm saying the manipulation that we do commonly is not like when you shut down, you're not trying to be malicious. It's a subconscious habit that you have. It's kept you safe when you were a kid.
Yeah.
And you're still using it.
Yeah.
I mean, you're using it less and less, but you know what I'm saying? Like that's most of the motivation or most of the manipulation we do is not done on purpose.
You're right.
Stop. I know the kids, sometimes they'll say, Mom, that's manipulative when I'll say like, I'll say something like, well, you don't know how long we'll be here. And when I want a hug and then I'll be like, Mom, and I'll be like, And that's a manipulation. It really is. I'm manipulating their emotions to get what I want.
And
even though they usually freely give hugs. But
a lot of times this God ordained it is. Because it's manipulating that fear of God that's been instilled in you, been taught to you, and that respect of God that's been taught to you. So when you say, well, it's from God, God revealed this, he laid it on my heart, can't argue with that. So we got to do whatever they say, because then we're listening to God.
Well, and then what's funny is even if they look at the fruit, anytime there is something that happens that kind of seems like it makes the situation better, even though a lot of times it's never a permanent better situation. I know we're being real kind of vague, but so whenever something happens, let's say this person's going along and they are just making choices that you're like, oh, you're just making a mess when you're just making these very poor choices, and it's pulling a lot of you're putting out a lot of bad energy or negative energy, and it's around you, right?
Mm-hmm.
But somebody will step into that karma circle, right, to try to help them, and it will look good for a minute. It will look good for a tiny little bit, right? Mm-hmm. And then that's when God gets the credit, right? Mm-hmm. That's God. But it's never God when it's a negative thing, ever. Yeah. It's never God. Like when Texas was hit with the floods, that wasn't God. That was
Democrats and the weather machine.
Yeah. But when Louisiana was hit with the, was it a hurricane?
Yeah, sure.
Katrina.
Oh, yeah.
Hurricane Katrina. That was because of sin, because of homosexuality and stuff. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That was God's punishment. And because it was hit more of an area where they would associate, like, I don't know, Mardi Gras or something. Remember, wasn't that kind of like...
It hit the whole region.
But they associated with Mardi Gras, I think. And so they were like, their sin, lust, and all that. And maybe it wasn't just
even though that's homosexuality. Maybe it was like region.
Yeah, but to an evangelical, plus it was a lot more minorities. It wasn't like these kids in Texas. Wasn't it more like a white, Christian?
The whole news cycle was Christian day camp.
Yeah, so it makes it sound like, oh, it's so holy and pure. And we know after leaving it and hearing the things, but also living a lot of the stuff, there's a lot of corruption that goes on in those places. A lot of times it's worse than a place that would be more like a private Christian school can be a lot worse than a public school.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
With what's going on behind closed doors.
Yeah. And in open doors with the students.
Yeah.
But so, there's a lot of manipulation going on in this mindset and it's just to control. And honestly, it's only for the benefit of the individual so that they don't have to do the hard work. And that's kind of the issue is that, well, now we don't have to do the hard work. God's going to provide. So provide for me, and do whatever it is. I'm not going to sit down and do some actual self-reflection, personal inventory.
I'm not going to change what I'm doing.
I'm not going to see what I could actually do to help out this situation. Mm-hmm. God ordained it, so he's going to have to take care of it.
And if you push back against them and you say, no, that's not true, you're considered like on the side of the devil.
Yeah.
Which, so which can make other Christian, and they'll just be like, don't listen to that guy. I mean, how many times does that probably happen in Christian circles with Christian preachers? Like that one, I know we watched a documentary one time. I can't remember. It was a church in the South. It was a Black pastor who was kind of like trained under maybe Jerry Falwell? No, Oral Roberts. And then he started
Jerry Falwell because he was racist.
Oh yeah, that's right. So it was Oral Roberts, and I once knew a guy who went to Oral Roberts University and dated him for a little bit.
Yes, you did.
But this Black pastor started to study the Bible and realized, I don't think hell is real. I don't think that's true. And he started to preach on it. And Oral Roberts came and actually sat through a sermon to see if it was true because he'd been hearing the rumors. And then he basically cut out all funding because they were, I think maybe he was even preaching at one of their churches or something. So the church got smaller and smaller and smaller because people wouldn't tolerate that message because it wasn't biblical, because they had God on their side, right? And they're
But
like,
it was
if you
actually
oppose
biblical.
it, it's like, that's not God. And that is more biblical. Yes,
Yeah.
but it was just, just the way the church has always kind of been. It's so it resists anything different than what it already thinks for the longest time, and then it will eventually give in because it thought the earth was flat, right? And then it was like, and then it thought the earth was
the church is always
the center of the universe,
decades, if not centuries, behind society. But I think the thing is that it's a lack of accountability on the people that are using this, and it's spiritual gaslighting on their part.
It is.
Because they don't want to be accountable for their actions. So if they do something and it has negative effects on people around them, hey, God told me to. This is called of God. This is what it was.
Or how can you use that to glorify God? Or can't you see God even in that? And it's like almost you have to just...
I mean, you think of a preacher of the mega church that says, hey, give me your money. You see the videos and clips, you've known them, you've been under their teaching of the ones that are like, I know you're short on rent this month or short on your mortgage, but that $800 you're going to use for that, sow that as seed money into our ministry.
God will not fail to come through.
God will provide for everything else. So they steal this person's mortgage. Now they're behind on their mortgage. And it's like,
but you only hear the stories where money swoops in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You hear the stories like, oh, God, miraculously, I opened the mailbox and there was $500 to pay my rent, and so.
It reminds me of the old Christmas Vacation. Well, Clark, I lost a lot of my money to that televangelist. What about the kids, Eddie? I don't give a shit about his kids. But people like that fall for this all the time because, God called me to do this and God promised me that he's going to give me double my mortgage, which would be a great benefit to me. Can't even make my mortgage. And so here you go. And then nothing comes back.
Yeah.
And it's just that gaslighting and the spiritual gaslighting of, you got to do this because if you don't, you have no faith. And you're just proving to everyone else that your faith is lacking. It's low. And you hear that message. So if we don't believe that this is ordained of God, these incidences in our personal life, well, that's because you don't believe anymore. And you can't see it for what it is. And it's like, no, I can see clearly what it is for what it is you don't want to work.
It's kind of like
you don't want to be responsible for anything in your life. And you want other people to take care of you so you can just go out and scream at people on a daily basis.
Well, if they would even just think in a practical sense, when you're struggling with something and you're like zoomed in and you can't figure it out, right? You've been working on it and someone comes with a new fresh set of eyes and is like, oh, that's what you need to do right there, right? A lot of times that happens. Or you step away and you take a break and you get your mind off of it and you get your mind in a clearer space. And then it'll come to you. Oh, that's how you solve it. It's the same thing, but they're not taking any time to take that break or they're so not self-aware. So they can't like pause and think through something like maybe it isn't God.
Yeah.
They can't even entertain that thought because if they entertain that thought, then everything they did that caused all the problems, like who's it fall on?
And that's the lack of accountability in this whole thing.
It's so uncomfortable to bear that belief, though, that you were wrong in Christianity. Or you were deceived is even worse. But it is worse for them to think that they were deceived.
The people we know honestly and truly think this is of God.
Yes, I know.
And
to admit that.
Yeah, the accountability is to realize this has turned a lot of things awful.
Okay, but they would have to acknowledge that they weren't following God, and that would mean you were deceived, and that is like the lowest thing that can, you don't want to be deceived.
The clearest example in our personal life is 2020. The end of the world's coming. Told, store water, store canned foods, because it's going to be hell on earth.
In the next year of 2020.
This isn't pre-COVID. This is post-COVID.
Yeah, this was post-COVID.
So there wasn't that, well, maybe, they were onto something with that.
Yeah.
No, this is post all that stuff. And nothing happened. the accountability then was, because if you look at Scripture, if someone prophesies something incorrectly, you're not hearing from God. You're hearing from something else.
Mm-hmm.
That can't hold true, because this was so true to us. This is our identity. Our identity becomes our ideology. So I've elevated myself into the state of a receiver of the message of God directly from Him. If that's wrong, then I'm not listening to God. I've been deceived. I'm listening to other stuff.
That causes a whole life crisis at that point, right? Mm-hmm. And I think it would take such courage to go there, because that's really what deconstruction is. You have to realize it takes work, but you have to be brave enough to be willing to look at it honestly.
Yeah.
And that is scary, because if you were wrong, all of this mess could have been maybe avoided.
Mm-hmm.
And you start to have all these, but instead of yes, those are true. But instead of that, I could sit here and go oh, if I wouldn't have believed in Christianity all those decades, I could be in a very different space. And then there are times that I do that. First of all, I didn't really have a choice. I was brought up in it. But if I could have gotten out of it sooner, but it also, I want to say that it is not because of it, but
you had to go through that experience so that you could have the experience you have now.
Yes, I think I'm enjoying adulthood and the freedom of it because of feeling, I don't want to say that it was okay, because it wasn't okay, but you know what I'm saying? When you contrast it with what you grew up in and then you're free, the freedom feels so amazing because you were enslaved.
Idea of what heaven is. Heaven won't be enjoyable if it is what these people say it is, because there is no contrast. You could have the best of everything in the world, but if you don't know what the worst is, this is just every day.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing special about it.
Yeah.
And that's what you're experiencing now. You had that contrast between now and then.
And I think
freedom now compared to what freedom was back then.
Mm-hmm.
And you see that, wow, this is a lot better.
Yeah.
This is a lot more free than what I thought I was.
Yeah. And I thought I was free. As a Christian, I would have definitely said I was free.
Mm-hmm.
But I in my head, I was free from hell.
Yeah.
I was free from having to be a slave to try, my sin was controlling me or something. Yeah, and now I had Jesus to help me with it.
Free from hell actually put you in a live-in hell.
Yeah, it did. I mean, and yes, it was I thought I was free, but it was basically kind of this makes me think of the people that were enslaved. When the Black people were enslaved, it was the last people to know that they were had been proclaimed free by the government. I think it was in the mid 1900s, or maybe early 1900s. I don't know. They didn't know. And because the slave masters or whatever hadn't told them.
Yeah.
And they didn't have access to the outside world. So they were living as enslaved people, but they were actually free and didn't know it. Yeah. And that's kind of a picture of what even Christianity, you're living an enslaved person to this system. And really, I think Jesus was basically saying, no, you don't have to, that's the whole point. It's he just wanted people to realize they were free.
Yeah.
Not to get into a whole new system though.
Yeah.
Because that's what Christianity is. Yeah. We'll just create a whole new system and now you're enslaved to that. But, and then it does all this. Yeah. Then you have all these things where God told me and that's a whole thing that people use.
To kind of wrap this one up, what can you do? I think, honestly, when you're dealing with this mindset, there's not a whole lot you can do directly, especially for the person that's claiming this. That's almost a lost cause.
You could, I don't know if I would say that. Push back at first to test it. Test to see if they're open to you saying that to them.
Yeah. And that's kind of where I was going with it. It's, you put it out there and you kind of take in what's happening around. Because if you're in a group and you see other individuals that's the ones that are open.
Or if if you push back and let's say there's 5 of you sitting around and one person said, this is God. And you say, well, how can I know it's God? Because this is really what happened to me just not too long ago.
Mm-hmm.
I said, how can we know it's God? That's something anybody could say, that this is God. And then we just have to believe it. Like, how do I know? Because I didn't hear God say it to anybody. And when you say that, if the others are like, kind of like, well, yeah, that's a good question, and they kind of look to the other person to try to come back with an answer, that's a person that might be they're like open to it. That's why like debates are so good, because especially if you have 2 good debaters, it's like, okay, that's a good question.
So in that case, you are planting seeds with that individual.
You're doing something. Yeah.
So you're helping some other people out. You might not be able to directly affect the person that's doing it. They may not see the damage that they're doing. They may not see the harm that they're causing.
Yeah.
But other people around it might, and that could change their minds and be like, and it could snap them out of it. Be like, yeah, this is crazy. Why are we just assuming that this is of God?
Yeah. Just because somebody's saying it. Yeah.
Especially when like in our experience, we know people that believe in God, but they believe completely different on what this is. And we know people are going to contradict what these people say is of God because it doesn't match what they believe on this. Yeah. So it's kind of like, well, here we go. Let's use some logic and reason here. And if you start doing that, it starts getting people to look at it at that different angle of, wait a minute, these are the results of what happened. Yeah,
right there. That is something, this is where you use, it's not, when you use you can use the Bible in a logic, and it's not that a Christian doesn't have logic and reason. They have a different type of logic and reason. There's different types. Their beliefs are reasonable, some of them, in their belief system, right? And you can use this to use reason and say, didn't Jesus say, like, you'll know them by their fruit? So let's look at the fruit of this situation. Let's look what's happening here. You could use that, and that might get somebody else, or maybe the person you're even talking to go and to use some of their reason. You can help improve the reasoning skills by using the reasoning they have, right? Just start where they are, meet them where they are, and you might be able to help some people. Because the whole point, I think, of what we're doing and what a lot of deconstruction people, I hope, are doing is, and I know some are, is we're just trying to help kind of pull people out of this, not all of Christianity, of course, because I think there's a core to Christianity that is, or Christ following, I think I would say, that is good and can lead you toward life. But the system, the religion that's set up, no, it is not. It's the system is not healthy to get trapped in. No. Yeah. It keeps you immature in your spirituality, if anything, you know.
It keeps you immature in life.
Yeah.
Because you're looking to this, this is it's Santa Claus. Santa Claus is true, so I got to be good.
Yeah.
And I got to believe what everyone's saying.
Yeah. It would be like a 50-year-old still believing in Santa Claus, like literally thinks that they're real. And like, is he coming? Like, it would be something's off, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And honestly, when you're starting to see this, it's kind of, it's not saying, what it's saying about you is that you're not easily controlled anymore. So you can pat yourself on the back for that.
Mm-hmm.
Because there was probably a time in your life where you would have been like, well, it's of God. Mm-hmm. So you got to let it go.
And even if you felt, you would feel like I'm in the wrong. Like I need to adjust my feelings for, I'm kind of being wrong here.
You do the mental gymnastics of, I know it appears that everything's going to shit around them and everyone that they touch, but God's got a plan, and I don't know what it is. I'll know in the future.
It creates, once again, it's another just lazy, your mind is not having to work.
No.
It's just like a little cop out that you don't have to think anymore.
Yeah.
And Christianity is full of those.
It's based on that.
Yeah. Just don't think too much.
So you're not controlled anymore. You can actually be like, oh, hold on. Because how many times we do that now when we hear something of the Christian and we're like, wait a minute second here.
Yeah.
Okay. Something seems off about this. Let's think about this one for a second. Then you think about it, you're like, yeah, that's completely off kilter. There's nothing, this is bad. This is awful. So, and then it comes through you, so you're not controlled. So you can pat yourself on the back of that. And, and you can realize too, when you're in this and you got someone that's so pig-headed and stubborn that, nope, it's of God, so you can't do it. You just can't win that argument because you're not going to win an argument against someone that has faith in their imaginary friend.
If it's causing you to be triggered, notice the trigger, stay curious about the trigger, like, why is this triggering me? And step out of the conversation. Because you don't want to, now you're going to be talking from your kind of like hurt self.
Yeah.
And then you're going to say things you don't want to say, and you're not going to be getting a point across. That's a good indication that, there's something I got to work on here.
Yeah.
Don't do this until it's not triggering. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then when it does get triggering, I've done it. And so when the trigger's there, stay curious and be like, all right, I need to step away from this conversation. And that's just more work for you to do on you, whether they work on their end that you can't control.
Yeah. There's no control in it. And some people are just completely given over to it just because God said so. And it's an aspect of so much of their life. Don't talk bad about that preacher, the man of God. Don't say that because they're called of God. God told them to do this. And it's like, we've seen a lot of people make some awful decisions that affect their families, that affect their finances, that affect all sorts of aspects in their life because God led them on a path. Some of them have come to the conclusion of, okay, that was wrong. Let's go back and start where we were again.
Yeah.
Some are still in it.
Yeah. And we're all in just these different phases. And so it would just be like someone who has vast wisdom talking to an infant is not really, and I'm not saying that some people, we're just farther along in our under awareness. And it's like
us trying to talk to our 15-year-old.
Yeah.
And we tell them, hey, this is the best for you. You have to sleep. You have to not sleep all day long because you stayed up until 5 a.m. Get back into a normal rhythm of life.
Yeah.
You have to eat your meals during the day. If you're trying to put on a bunch of muscle, you can't do that if you don't feel, you're dumb. 47's the best president ever.
That's when he's trying to rage bait.
Yeah.
He doesn't agree with that, but he's rage baiting.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm like, stop with the rage bait. And he's like, well, it works.
It's like, and anyone that has kids can understand this. The
teenagers.
I've lived through this. I've done it.
Yeah. And then, we were all told
that wisdom.
You gotta, sometimes you just gotta learn it. They just gotta learn it the hard way. They don't get to learn from what you're saying. And doesn't mean you don't tell them though. Doesn't mean you don't tell them. You still tell them. You just know that they're probably going to have to, they got to experience more life. So instead of being angry is what I'm saying is, and though there's a place for anger because all of it has a place, you can get to a point at some point where you can just be like, okay, I know where they're at and it's all right. More life experiences will teach them.
Yeah.
Whether this lifetime or other lifetimes, I don't know, but it's like just allow life to do its work because life is a good teacher.
Yeah. And honestly, anger in the heat of the situation will probably embolden them because look, see, God's got them all worked up.
Yeah. Because look how you're acting angry and that's like the devil to them. You know what I'm saying? So it could play into,
So
it takes a lot of self-control. Let's just say that. It takes a lot of self-control to be in those kind of conversations. And it's not for everybody and nobody is going to do it all the time. Sometimes you just got to make those decisions in the moment.
And basically what we're trying to say is we don't have a lot of solutions to this one. This one's one of them just weird things that it's almost impossible to go against. You just got to play it out. Put the seeds out, spread the seeds so that someday maybe that seed will germinate and they'll be like, oh yeah, that was fucked up. Huh. Maybe there was something there. But
they'll probably never remember you saying that, but it might put a little, it might drop something into the subconscious that might grow. But yeah, it's just like everything else really in this journey of life where there was so much certainty in Christianity. This is what you say when they say this, and this is what you say when, and they had all these answers. There's no answers. You got to learn how to listen to your own intuition. You have to, have self-control. You have to be very aware. You have to stay in the present moment. There's so much, so much more to it to feel out each situation. What do I do here? Because there is no formula for this.
Yeah. I think you just got to learn. You got to know when to hold them.
Know when to fold.
Know when to fold them.
Know when to walk away. It's one of my favorite songs. Why you singing it?
Yeah. So basically, you just got to learn the situation to not get caught up in it, not lose yourself, and understand. I just need to step away because I'm the old go-to that we go. You're wasting energy on something that isn't going to change.
Yeah, if you're starting to get real worked up, and it doesn't mean. It's just that's when you stay curious with yourself.
Yeah.
Why is this so triggering to me? And I think in the situation that we're talking about, it's come around in another cycle, right? We've had this cycle before. And before it was very triggering to me because I felt so why are you guys not seeing this? I don't understand. But now it's just kind of it's not as triggering.
Yeah.
It's just okay.
We see it as the cycle that it is. And we see how people are inserting themselves into the cycle and are preventing the cycle to come to its natural conclusion.
Yeah. So it will stay a cycle.
Instead of the cycle slowing down and coming to an end, these people insert themselves and start spinning it even faster.
Well, and I even had the comment, I said, do you not see this pattern? And the comment back to me was, well, it went longer this time. Yeah. Okay. What if it's shorter this time? Or, I don't care. We're in a cycle.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. It is what it is.
So take that and do whatever you want with it. Not many answers today. But
well, I think we gave some suggestions that are just, to me, that would have been encouraging to be okay.
Other people are dealing with this. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a tough one because it's just so, you just want to bang your head against the wall sometimes when you're dealing with it. Because, me. And when I see something as extremely logical and extremely rational, and no one else can pick up on this, when the solution is quite obvious, it's very frustrating to me.
Okay, so you're triggered, and this is where you would stay curious with yourself.
Yeah, it's
instead of thinking this is them, why is this so triggering to you?
Because the fucking answer is simple. It's do this.
I think there's more to it, but it is simple, but it's not simple. It's it would be like being triggered when a baby has those shape things and they're trying to put the wrong shape in the wrong hole and to get triggered and get angry. Instead, just be okay, they haven't figured it out. They just haven't figured it out. They need to try a little bit more. They might have to go on a lot more rounds on this cycle.
I think it's all the shapes fit in the square hole anyway, so.
Did you figure that out as a kid or something?
I figured that at 1 year old.
Or did you do this? I was thinking of that ball that could pull apart,
Yeah.
You probably just pulled it apart and dumped them all in.
I'm not a cheater.
Are you, though?
I played the game. I don't know what you're implying there, but... So, yeah, anyways, I got my own issues to work out there, but hopefully it just gives you guys some comfort to know that other people are going through it, and it's frustrating.
It's normal to be frustrated. Yeah. It's normal to be frustrated, but
Anyways, go to danandcan.com and relieve your frustrations on there by leaving us messages, reaching out, following Candy in the Candy Jar. I said it so many times, she's like, oh, candy jar.
Maybe I should just call it that, the candy jar. If I could figure it out, maybe I would, but I don't know if I got other things I got to deal with.
That's my other manipulation tactic. I keep saying it until finally you're like, candy jar, not a bad idea.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, Joseph, Goebbels taught me that.
What's that from?
He was Hitler's right-hand minister. If you tell a lie often enough and confident enough, people will start believing it.
That is true, though.
So, anyways.
Sad, but it's true.
Go to Dana. Sorry to get all political on you there. Go to danacan.com. Everything we got, it's on there. So reach out to us and all that. if you're listening on a podcast format, go up and give us a like, 5 stars. We'd appreciate that greatly. It helps us out a ton when you can do that. And if you're watching on YouTube, hit that smash, like that, subscribe. Smash, hit that like.
I think they got it. All right.
Smash that subscribe. We appreciate that. And as always, just go yell on a pillow when dealing with Christians, because that's sometimes the best bet dealing with it.
I can move that anger. That's true.
So,
move the body.
Yes.
All right.
All right.
Bye. Bye.